Usually when we get wrapped up in emotions, when we get wrapped up in an experience, we lose context and it starts to color our memories. It starts to color the future that we see for ourselves. For instance, if you're depressed, you'll think back and you'll remember depressing stuff, and you'll think forward and you'll think about potential futures that are very depressing. And it'll color your sense of self to feel, wow, this is just who I am. And that's why that gets projected forward and backward. But what you'll notice is that every emotion only lasts a certain amount of time. It only is there for a bit and then it's gone. And when it's gone, sometimes we don't even notice that it was there and it was gone. But the noticing of that, or the, actually cognizing that, hey, this is temporary, is the wisdom of impermanence. And this is just such a game changer when it comes to overwhelming feelings and sensations. Because when you're overwhelmed, often it's like your mind and your body think that this is how it's going to be forever. And so then you can make very irrational decisions. You can bring yourself, down these pathways that aren't necessarily serving you or other people. But if you're able to recognize this is not going to last, it can sort of let you trust, and it can let you work with your experience with a little bit more grace and a little bit more sensibility. So let me give you an example. I just started journaling my moods, and it's been very helpful to recognize impermanence, to recognize that my moods always change. Basically, they're always changing, okay? My moods are always changing. So I'll write down in my journal, apathetic. I feel apathetic right now, and I'll explain what's kind of going on with me. And then 3 hours later, I'm like, I feel great. I feel amazing. I feel joyful. And I'll write down what's going on with me. Let's say I do this for some days, and then eventually I notice that I feel apathetic again. But then when I'm feeling that, I have a moment of being like, wait, last time I felt this way, and then 3 hours later I felt completely different. And it lets me trust. It lets me sort of ease my nerves back down to be like, okay, I can work with this because it's not going to last forever. Because I've seen through proof, not promises, that that's the case. And the way you get the proof is through self-observation. Journaling can be very helpful because it like you literally write it down. It's kind of like, well, we have the evidence here. You wrote in your journal at 3 p.m. that you felt apathetic, and then at 6 p.m. that you felt joyful. So you literally observed it. Versus, you can do that same observation in your head, but sometimes if you get apathy or whatever the emotion is that overwhelms you, it can kind of override your logic, which is very strange about emotions. So that's why I find writing it down is so powerful. So the reason I bring this up is because this is such an important principle for the healing process. When we're overwhelmed, for instance, in a panic attack, and I've had panic attacks. I think most people have had like little freak out moments at least. It feels like this is going to be it forever. And you totally decontextualize that. It's like, well, this is just a moment. And it's not going to last forever. And I've journaled and kind of cataloged panic attacks, and they usually kind of come full circle within an hour and a half, meaning that all the symptoms, like the peak of it can last 10 minutes or something. But the whole thing kind of rounds out within an hour and a half. So the fact that I've observed that consistently within myself enough times now really helps me to give context to that experience and to be able to trust and work with it a bit more. And this isn't to say that, the wisdom of impermanence will solve everything, but it helps you to keep context. And I think it's very powerful for not getting as overwhelmed with things that you're going through. So yeah, this is the wisdom I want to share with you. If you're going through something right now, or if you have been, or if something comes up for you in the future, just to know that it's just a wave, and to really see if you can do this, if you can step back and get some context in terms of like, wait, yeah, I didn't feel this way on Tuesday. I didn't feel this way on Wednesday. I feel this way right now, this afternoon. It's temporary. And see if you can let that sink in, because It's one thing to tell yourself, but it's another thing to have it really sink in. And to me, the beauty of the ever changing emotional waves that we ride and what people call impermanence is it's not the fact of it, but it's the perspective it gives you. And the perspective it gives you is a little bit of a step back and kind of a little bit of a view of the greater trajectory, the greater direction your life is going in, so you can have context. You're like, wait, no, I've had amazing experiences. Like this happened, like I just had an awesome night the other day, so the fact that I'm anxious right now is totally okay. I'm human, I'm having an experience, is temporary, I'm going to be with it right now, as far as I'm comfortable, rather than like you're just sucked into it and you're just completely overtaken by it. So that's my wisdom for you. I love you. I care about you. I've been on a huge healing journey as of lately. And trauma sensitivities, trauma awareness, trauma healing has been a huge part of it and a huge part of the work that I'm going to continue to do and support people with. It's going to be a part of Quantum Heart, and it's going to be a part of any of the coaching or guidance roles that I do to support people. So that's it. I love you. I care about you. Check out my online groups. Please connect with me there. Lots of cool free resources. The Wellbeing Sanctuary, the Telegram group are both there. I'd love to have you in it. They're both free, and I offer free support there. Love you.